So when I was about 14 years old, my father and my mother had gotten some kind of argument, and my dad took me, my sister, and my younger brother Mark to South Carlsbad. We'd never been to that beach before, but my family loved going to the beach. Me and my sister were great swimmers, and when we go to the beach, it's an all-day event. We swim all day. We don't come out of the water at all, not even to use the restroom. Like, we were in the beach, like we were in the water all day. And I had just got a new wetsuit. I just got a new wetsuit, and I was super excited to use it. And I used it, and then it started to get a little warm, so I took it off, threw it on the beach, went back out, and swam with my sister in the waves all day. There was nobody on the beach. This was the off season, and it was on and off, cloudy and overcast. And toward the end of the day, I'd say probably around 3:30, when we'd normally like come in and go home, but we were staying actually at the campsite up the cliff. So the beach, South Carlsbad, it's a beach, and then there's just this huge cliffside that lines the whole beach, and that's where the campsites are, and the the streets and the stores and everything. And it's about 3:30, and we're coming in, and my mom actually shows up with my other younger brother Brett and my grandmother, and they come down to the beach, and everything's fine now between her and my dad. And she's like, "Okay, guys, we're gonna go back up and start dinner and stuff like that in the next 30 minutes. So go swim a little bit more, whatever." And so we do. We go swim a little bit more, and then she starts yelling for us to come in because it's time to go. So me and my sister Allie swim in, and we start up the beach. And I look over to my left, and I see sand. I don't see my wetsuit. I don't see my wetsuit. And I'm like, where is it? So I search the beach. I don't see it anywhere. And I look out to the water, and I see something, this black bulbous thing, kind of like air was in the wetsuit, and it kind of puffed up, and it was floating in the water. So I run after it, and I completely block out my mom calling after me and the family, cleaning up our little campsite on the beach. And I just start tearing after it. I'm not going to lose that wetsuit. It was rare I got something like that special, so I was not going to lose it. And I swam and swam and swam, and it was so strange because the harder I swam, the further it felt like that thing got away from me. No matter how hard I tried to get out to it, it just kept getting further and further and further. And I swam and I swam and I swam, and after a while I started thinking in my head, like, man, I wonder how far I've swam out, because I've been swimming for a long time now, and I'm still not at the stinking wetsuit. And I don't think to look back. I don't know what was in my head, but I keep swimming. I swim and I swim and I swim and I swim. And I start to get a little tired because I've been swimming all day with no breaks and no water, no food, just swimming all day. I finally get past the waves and out to kind of more flat water, and I'm swimming. Now I'm finally gaining on this bulbous black thing, and it doesn't register right away as I'm swimming up to it that it's much bigger than my wetsuit might be. But I keep going. I get all the way to it, and I jump on top of it to grab it, and I bob in the water. And it felt rubbery and hard, and it was not my wetsuit. It was a big dead seal. The size of it felt like a walrus. But instantly I went into shock as I turned around and I saw the strip of cliffs that was the beach, and how far I had swam out, and how far really the Riptide had pulled me out. I was terrified, just instantly petrified. I wasn't as scared as that night that I told you about in my room after that dream, but I was pretty scared because when I thought dead seal equals sharks in the water, and I'm going to get eaten by a shark right now. And I was not a Christian. I wanted nothing to do with God at this time, so I was not in good standings with anything, and I really had to wrestle with death in that moment, you know, as a 14-year-old kid. And no, am I saying 14? No, I must have been 13. I wasn't 14, I was 13. I'm starting to remember because I remember that birthday. Okay, I'm sorry. I wasn't 14, I was 13. So anyways, let me get back to the story. So now I'm just kind of treading water, trying to keep my head above water, and I don't know what to do. I start shouting, you know, help, help, help. But I know that nobody's hearing me because I'm way too far. And man, I just remember in that moment just being like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I start swimming back, and I block it out of my head, sharks in the water, all that stuff. I just swim as much as I can, as fast as I can. And I probably swim for 10, 15 minutes till I'm completely gassed. And then I start treading water again, and I'm looking around, and I have made zero headway getting back to land. In fact, I feel like I'm further away. And as I'm sitting there treading water, I'm watching the wave breaks in the distance, and I see a head pop out, and I see my sister's face. And my sister's 2 years younger than me, and she was a great swimmer like me, but she'd followed me out. She had followed me all the way to where I was. And I was like, no. And I was shouting to her, go back, go back. And oh man, I felt so bad. Time passed, probably another 15 minutes, and I see another head popping out of the water. It's my dad's head. And it takes him a little while to get to me, but eventually he gets to me. My dad is not a good swimmer. And he gets to me, and he's just like, are you okay? He's swimming. He's still got his jeans on. I don't know if he had his shoes on, but he was not doing good staying above water. Like, it was not a good situation. And he said that my grandma had gone to find the Coast Guard or somebody, not the Coast Guard, but like the park rangers or whatever, to phone in somebody to come help us, because there's literally nobody on the beach, no lifeguards, and I think we were one of 2 or 3 people in the whole campsite. So, like I said, it was the off season, but so we're out there treading water, and he's telling me that my mom had swam out to Allie, Grandma had the other 2 kids, and she'd gone to get help, right? So now my mom's with Allie. I can't see them. We can't see them. My sister and my dad's with me, and we're treading water. And all I can think about is, like, I'm gonna die right now. And I remember a couple times letting myself fall under the water and looking up and just wondering if a shark was just gonna come, like, take me out, or if I was just gonna actually get to the point of exhaustion and just not be able to keep myself up anymore. And so anyways, we just kept treading water, and we could see, because we were watching at this point, we were watching that strip of, you know, the cliffs, because we could see, for the most part, the cliffs. You couldn't see any of the beach, just cliffs. And we're watching the cliffs, and we're watching the area where that the ranger station was supposed to be. And I see these 2, like in the far distance, I can see these 2 guys like scurried down the cliffside. And these are like sheer drop cliff sides. These dudes run down the cliffside, disappear into the cliffside. We knew what we saw. We saw these two guys run down. So anyways, 10-15 minutes pass, and this dude swims all the way out to me and my dad, grabs us, and swims us back in, just kicking his feet. And I mean, that guy was strong. He was this little skinny guy. I mean, he was maybe as tall as my dad. My dad's not very tall, and he swam us both in. And when we got back in, there was this other guy, his friend, who had swam my mom and my sister in. And it was crazy. You know, we said thank you to them. And then it was weird because my mom and my dad started talking and stuff, and I watched those two dudes run straight back up the cliffside. And after that, you know, we went back up to the park, to the campsites and stuff. My mom was trying to figure out, she wanted to give him money, she wanted to thank him more, and nobody had ever seen him. Nobody knew who they were. You know, we're up at the campsite now, and we can see out, and you can see on the ocean, and you see the rescue helicopter fly overhead. Like it finally got there, you know, by the time we were back up to the campsite. And that was a crazy experience. I still didn't believe in God, but I know looking back, those were angels. Because I've never, I mean, little scrawny dude swimming me and my dad against, you know, a Riptide back in with how far we were. It's just, I mean, I've heard of people getting like kind of crazy strength with stuff like that happens, but you know, like picking up cars and stuff, but that was crazy. And then they just go straight back up the cliffside and then never to be seen or heard from again. So anyways, that was a crazy story. That was a crazy time, but I wanted to share it because I brought it up in the past video. So that was my experience, one of my life and death experiences, getting caught in a Riptide. And yeah, see you next time.